There it is. There it is. Yeah, I might look tired. I've been up for like 5 minutes, you motherfather. Get off my back. All right, let's see if there's anybody in here. If we get 8, I will be shocked by the sweatiness. I will be shocked by the sweatiness if we get 8 in here. There's already 6. Look at that. Yes. Well, maybe one of those is me, so maybe that doesn't count. I don't know. Let's see. We'll just see if we get to 8. 8 would be super sweaty. Super sweaty. The Utes are in here. Talking about Utes. Utes, ya Anna. Wade's in here, sweaty. Sweaty Chris is in here. The sweaty Outman. Where's old sweaty Nick? I know. I can't believe sweaty Nick is not in here. Shocked. Oh, I see 8 now. Maybe that's Nick. A little late. He's on that Louisiana. He's on the Louisiana internet, and he doesn't always run the bells, child. Okay. There's sweaty Nick. Jeff smells like a gym in here. That's pretty funny. Bannock's in here. Travis, look at that. I see more than 8 names in this chat. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count 10 names, yet it says there's only 8 people in here. You're full of shit, OBS. All right. 10 sweaty bastards. You know what? We should get to 12, and it could be 12 sweaty bastards. Okay, I'm just in the Christmas spirit. It's a good song, and I believe it's 5 golden rings. So maybe we need 5 sweaty bastards, 4 cash game players, 3 GPP winners, 2 millionaire makers, and bowl season slate to win today. There we go. That's your 12 days of Christmas. Little did you know you were going to get serenaded on a Tuesday morning. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have those lyrics planned if you couldn't tell. Just had to make it up on the fly. On the Delbert McFly, as he says, well done. Thanks, brother. Okay. Let's see. You know what? For a 2-game slate, which if you guys haven't noticed at college football, I tend to not love as much because the fewer choices there are, the fewer chances it is for my opponents to make mistakes. And if I've said this before, but I really want this to get through to you guys, as a lot of you are, have not been big cash game players in the past. You've just been GPP bros, which don't get nothing wrong with that. I've always been a GPP bro myself. But in GPPs, you're trying to be smarter than everybody, right? But in cash game, you're trying to let other people be dumbasses. And when in a 2-game slate, there's fewer chances for people to be dumbasses. There's fewer chances for them to make poor choices. That's why cash game at 2-game slates, a lot of times you'll get in a 1v1 or a 2v2, and even when they make a dumb choice, because it's a 1v1, even the dumb choice could still be a 60-40 they're going to hit, right? Or I guess it would be 40-60 in that case. So I don't like them as much as, a 5-game slate or a full 13-game slate because there's more chances for them to be fucking morons. So, but with that said, I do feel like there are some good potholes today. I feel like cash is pretty viable today, but I got to tell you, if for all of you that want to play GPPs today, I think there's some really good chances to play GPP super sneaky today. Super sneaky. All right, I'm just going to run through all of this, then I'll answer your questions, okay? First of all, let's just go by position, okay? Quarterbacks, Daquan Finn and Cordero. Cordero, I think you probably want to start with these 2 guys in cash, okay? One at quarterback, one at Superflex, obviously. The San Jose offense, they have, almost the biggest total on there. They're an air raid offense. He just has a very safe floor, right? So I think you want to pay up for Cordero. Daquan Finn, he offers a lot of safe floor with his legs. They do have the highest total. And here's the one thing I can say about both of these quarterbacks. They will, outside of injury, they'll play the whole game, right? They're not like they might get replaced or something. Whereas Liberty, I don't know what the fuck to make of their quarterback situation. If you consider a Liberty quarterback in cash, fucking shame on you. I do think that playing Salters at GPPs is super, super sneaky. No one's going to play that motherfather. And anytime you can get a less than 10% owned quarterback on a slate, a 2-game slate, you almost need to try it, right? And so, you just got to worry because they said this Bennett guy's going to play. But then you got to wonder how much of that is just coach talk and them trying to, get in the head of the other team. Maybe you just hope Salters comes out and plays really well and he gets to play the whole game. But just be aware, when you do that, there is a decent chance that, he might be out and you might get 3 points from him. But that, when you're playing a GPP, you're playing for first or fucking last. And if that's not how you're doing it wrong, bub. And then the other one that I really like, probably my favorite GPP play today, is this Taylor Powell. I can't play him in cash just because I'm a little worried that Austin Smith might see some action. They've, like he seems to kind of have a short leash, but man, at GPPs, this Taylor Powell, the fact that you're going to get him at big time discounted ownership versus Cordero or Finn, I think that he's a smash play at GPPs. Yeah, he might get subbed out, and that's the reason I can't play him at cash, but I just really like his role. He's actually a pretty good quarterback, and he's, affordable at 6,400. And I think that Eastern Michigan's going to be passing the ball a lot as they're going to be behind. So just to be clear, Powell is a great GPP play. Salters is I don't want to call him a great GPP play. He's a super, super sneaky GPP play. And then I think the real play here is you get Cordero and Finn in your cash lineups, but in a GPP, I like fading one of those two guys. Does that make sense? I wouldn't play both of those guys in a GPP lineup. They're both just so chalky. I would save that for all the cash game bros. Okay, going over to running back. I think the safest one here is Samson Evans. He just has such a big workload when they're ahead, when they're behind. And for all of you that have been playing the Maction with me this year, big old Samson's taken care of us more than once, hasn't he? So don't mind Samson Evans. Actually, I don't. I think you probably need to have him in your cash lineup. There is a path for him to have a shitty game if Eastern Michigan gets behind and they start passing. But even then, he does still tend to get a lot of the goal line pass work. So there's that. Jalen Jackson is one that if they get behind and you want to play a sneaky run back for San Jose, I think he's somebody you could play. Nobody to consider for cash. Kyrie Robinson seems to have a really nice role cut out. As far as volume goes, I think he's probably in line to get the second most touches on this slate at running back, probably only behind Samson Evans. 6,700 is a bit of a high price tag, especially for a pass-forward offense like San Jose. But what you're going to find today is when you're building your cash lineup, it's not that hard to get almost whoever the fuck you want in there, right? Here was the problem I ran into. I've made my initial cash lineup, and it have 4 fucking San Jose guys. I don't know if I want to have 4 San Jose State guys in my cash lineup. So I might have to tweak that a little bit. But I think he's viable at cash. He's definitely viable at GPPs. And if you want a way to kind of fade some of this San Jose State chalk at GPPs, maybe you just go in here and hope Kyrie Robinson counterfeits them all, right? A lot like A.J. Dillon did last night on Monday Night Football. You go in and you play him because his success almost directly steps on the dick of their passing game, right? Over here, Liberty running backs, a lot like their quarterbacks. I'm not playing them. I'm not interested. Okay, I take that back. I will maybe play Salters if I play some GPPs. But their running backs are overpriced and they're in a timeshare. They had a stud. I can't remember his name. He's out. Ray, JJ, something like that. And so I can't. Liberty running backs, I put them on there in case you want to get fucking funky and GPPs, but I'm not playing them. I'm not interested in them. Over to Toledo, I actually think Micah Kelly is he's going to be their starter. Stewart gives him some spells, but I think Kelly, you could probably expect maybe 15 touches, and at 4,000, 15 touches, pretty good. And he might just be that one pump piece you need in your cash lineup to kind of get every other guy you want, right? So he would probably be my third favorite running back. I think it goes Samson Evans, number 1, Kyrie Robinson, number 2. I think Micah Kelly's my number 3. And there's not a lot of great running back options. Matter of fact, if you end up going with a wide receiver at flex today, I won't fucking shit on you because most of these teams are pass-forward teams, okay? I would say Eastern Michigan, not so much, but San Jose is a pass-forward team. Liberty's a pass-forward team. And then Toledo is, I don't know. What the fuck? They suck. I don't know. I'm just still mad at Daquan Finn for getting me negative 1.4 in a cash lineup. And I still fucking cashed. Fuck you, Daquan. Okay. All right, getting to receivers. There's a lot of good receivers on this slate. This is why I'm saying if you want to play 4 receivers today, and by the way, when I say 4 receivers, I need you to just know what I'm talking about. You obviously got to play 3 because there's 3 wide receiver spots. So when I say 4, that just means you're putting a wide receiver on the flex as opposed to a running back, which if you guys know my brand, it typically is in college football, play a running back at the flex, right? The rule is always play a quarterback at super flex, usually play a running back at the flex. But on a 2-game slate like this, you got to be flexible. Thank you, flexible. Okay. And I think you got to kind of just look at what the teams offer, and these teams have really good pass catchers, so I'm not afraid to stick a wide receiver at flex today. All right, over here for Eastern Michigan, the problem is like they pass the ball a decent amount. They're going to probably be playing from behind. So if you play New, I actually think New's pretty good. Problem is, look, they really spread the ball around. I don't think any of these guys probably get more than 8 targets. They don't have any target monsters, and they're all kind of priced up. But at the same time, it's also not too hard. I really like, especially, if you're going to play Taylor Powell, this is a big GPP play. If you're playing GPP Taylor Powell, I really like double stacking him, and I think you can rotate all 4 of these receivers with him, right? Go do a new and a Lassiter. Go do a new and a Drummond. Go do a Badon and Drummond, and just mix and match and just hope that you get the right pair, because I think Powell, if he gets there in a GPP, can carry 2 of these guys. Now, as far as cash goes, I think the only one of these I would consider for cash would probably be New. But even then, I don't know if I want to pay $6,600 for a guy that doesn't even average 6 targets a game. You know what I'm saying, Birder? So they're all good plays, but none of them are great plays for cash, that is. San Jose State will probably pass the ball more than anybody today. I think you got to get Elijah Cooks in your cash lineup. 7,800. I just think he averages 9 targets a game. I think he averages almost 100 yards receiving a game. You got to have him in your cash lineup. It's really non-negotiable to me. You pay down elsewhere, but you just take the targets he gets, and he may only get like 12 points, but it doesn't fucking matter. You pay for the 12 points. Okay. So Elijah Cook, non-negotiable. I think my favorite cheap option at cash is Lockhart. I almost put him as cash, but I was like, man, I'm putting every San Jose State guy as cash. So we're just going to call him high upside. I think for 4,600, if you need him, that 6 targets at 4,600 is a pretty good number, right? He's in a pass-forward offense. He's on the field almost all the time. And if you don't know, rule number 1, you motherfather, they got to be on the field to score points. Okay? I know. I have, that is the secret to life. So those 2, love them. My initial build, I've already given it away that I have 4 San Jose State guys in there. I'm not sure I'm going to keep that. But, to me, I think you got to have Cordero and Cooks. I think they're non-negotiable for cash. And then Robinson and Lockhart are both very viable for cash. But it's kind of how you want to build. I don't really know if I want 4 guys, because if they just play meddling today and get 21 points, my cash lineup's almost certainly dead, right? That's why you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Let other people make those mistakes. As far as their other receivers, Braddock is kind of their third receiver, but they do rotate that one a lot. They do a lot of 2 wide receiver stuff, and when they do 3 and 4 wide, they kind of mix and match. There is this Mazzotti guy who used to be like one of their top guys. He might be back today. I can't find any definitive word if he's active. I'm sure our boy Asaqual, who is a colonel in the college football army here, will probably help us with that. But if he's in there and you want to punt for a GPP that will probably be less than 1% owned, that could be the guy. But you need word that he's playing. He hasn't played in a long time, but when he did play, he was a real contributor. Okay, so there's that. Moving over to wide receivers from Liberty, I think DeMario Douglas, as you can see, 9 targets a game almost, very good at 6,500. The reason I don't have him as a cash play is because I don't really trust his quarterbacks. If you play him at cash, I don't think you're a dumbass. I don't think you're a dumbass at all. I just don't think that I can just say, you've got to play this guy at cash. I'm not convinced that he's better than Tanner New. I'm not convinced he's better than Jerwan Newton. I'm not convinced of that. But I think that he is an okay play at cash. He's definitely viable at GPPs, especially if you want to do a slimy Salters Douglas stack and just hope that this Bennett guy doesn't play. Salters gets off to a hot start. Or if you want to be super slimy, I guess you could go with Bennett, but they have said Salters is going to start. They've just said Bennett's going to play, but they might have just said that to keep his ass from transferring, if you know what I'm saying. From there, their other wide receivers, they are nice and cheap, but man, they do not have a big role. I guess Snead getting 4 targets a game at 3,200 is probably an okay punt if you think Liberty is going to be passing the ball. But man, I want you to know Liberty, I don't trust them. And then what is that? Noah Frith? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him either. I just don't really. I don't mean to keep shitting on Liberty. Somebody's going to go off form if they're going to score 24.75 points. I just don't know who, Bob. And then lastly, for Toledo, I've played a lot of Toledo this year as a man who plays a lot of action and stuff. And I'll just tell you this. You look at their numbers. You look at their pace. They play fast. They pass the ball a lot. They score a lot of points, yet somehow Newton doesn't average 400 points a game. I don't get it. Because if you watch Jerwan Newton, he is clearly their number 1 receiver. He's always on the field. He's always running routes. He seems to be very involved. He's an electric player, and I don't get why he's not better. I'll never get it. Every time I'm watching, I'm like, this guy should have 30 points today, and he never effing gets there. But at the same time, He is always on the field. He is electric. He does play for a fast team with the highest total on the slate. So I think Jawan Newton, I think you got to consider him for cash. And for GPPs, he's a home run. I think he's the exact kind of guy you want for GPPs. He could be the slate breaker today, right? Devin Maddox, the guy that should have won me $10,000, but he decided to go out at the 1, you mother father. So Devin Maddox, very good play for GPPs. I don't think you can consider him for cash. I think you're getting too cute at that point. I think you're just trying to play number 1 wide receivers from most of these teams. So Maddox is definitely a number 2. And then for GPPs, I really like Blankesme too. Look at that. 6 targets a game at 4,600, especially if you wanted to stack Daquan thin in a way that other people aren't stacking him. Get on Demir Blankesme. I don't know. I like him. For GPPs, not for cash, motherfather. And then lastly, Jamal Turner. He's kind of the pump for Toledo. He's definitely their 4th option. But if you're like, the reason I put 4 receivers on there is not because I'm telling you to play 4 receivers. It's because if you are making 10 lineups today, right? I don't know, whatever contest you're playing in, you said you're doing 10. And you're playing Daquan Finn in all 10 of your lineups. You need to mix and match his options, right? You need to have some multiple ways, right? Same thing with Taylor Powell. That's why I give you 4 options so you can mix and match different receivers with them. Same thing with Cordero. That's why I put those on there. I'm not putting those guys on there because you should be playing them all. I'm just like, that's why they're orange, because I'm basically saying you want to play these guys only in GPPs, and probably none of these guys, like these very bottom guys, as one-off pieces. You probably want to play them either as a run back from an Eastern Michigan stack or like with a stack with Cordero, right? Cordero. All right, if you have any questions, I'll answer them real quick. If not, I'm going to go. I got a big day. I think I'm going to go get a haircut. Yeah. So you celebrate the small things when it's a Tuesday. No, the casino's not open today. Can't go play poker. So what the hell am I going to do? Hello, Swiss Alpha Man. Let's go Utes. Good morning. Hello, Chris. Gotta love Tuesday. You know what, Wade? I'm pretty excited. I am a little disappointed that they don't have more cash gains up, Wade. And all the ones I go to get in, T. Swin and Sweaty Ian are already in there. So, we're always stepping on each other's balls. Sweaty Nick's here. Smells like a gym. Bernick, Travis, Delbert, Bill, let's go. Well done. Thanks, brother. Man, you need some more cold brews. Nick, you're the only motherfather that's always commenting on my looks. I want you to know that. I just woke up, you motherfather. I'm not a spring chicken. When I first wake up, you got the old, what is it, crow's feet or whatever they're called? Thank you, Hannah. Eastern Michigan run game. Love the Eastern Michigan run game. There's Jason Reed saying that he loves the run game today. I will say this. If Eastern Michigan gets – here's a really good build, right? If you think – by the way, I'm talking to Jason right now, but all of you should be hearing this. If you think that Eastern Michigan's going to get ahead today, okay, which is very viable because let's face it, you can say, well, San Jose State's favored. Dude, this is fucking bowl games. If you don't know this about bowl games, hear me and hear me now. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Bowl games are more about who's motivated and like who gives a shit, right? That's basically all it is. And we don't know who's going to give a shit, right? We don't know who's pumped up for this bowl game and who doesn't. And you may think you know who's pumped up and then you don't, okay? So which by the way, makes my point, Jason. If you're going to go with a bit of a counter narrative and you think that Eastern Michigan's going to be ahead, I love Evans. I love Evans in that. And here's the best part is it perfectly correlates with Cordero chunking the ball all around the field trying to get back in it with a double stack with him, right? So if I'm building GPPs, that would be the cornerstone of all my GPP lineups, right? Now, for cash, I don't like to tell narratives with cash, right? I'm not looking for a game script with cash. When it comes to cash, I am just looking for who is going to get the most volume per dollar out there. That's all I'm after, right? Fuck narratives, fuck scripts. We're not trying to do that. But for winning a GPP, you do need a script. And a great script would be Eastern Michigan gets ahead, so I want Evans, maybe even mix in some new because, if they're getting ahead, he's probably having a solid game too. He's their top wide receiver. And then you run it back with Cordero and 2 of his pieces. You fade Kyrie Robinson. That is a narrative right there that's going to be, the cornerstone of your lineups. And then you go mix and match the pieces from the other game that you like, right? Something else I would consider, I would try to get at least 3 guys from each game. Okay, if you look at your cash lineup and you have 6 guys from this game and only 2 guys from this game or vice versa, I don't like that. I think you need to spread the love a little bit today. I think you want to have at least 5 and 3. 5 from one game, 3 from the other, and 4-4 is obviously okay too, right? I'm just saying don't put all your eggs in one basket of one game, especially at cash. Now at GPPs, I think a 6-2 split is fine. If you want to go 6 guys from this first game and only 2 from the last game, I think that's more than acceptable. Then you just play for 1 game to really shoot out, okay? All right, Brett, let's go. Travis, I was waiting for another $50 contest. Sure you were, Travis. I already saw you in there, you motherfather. Still in my contests. Okay, this is what I do. And by the way, for all of you sweaty cash game bastards, listen to me. There's something of note here. They've started doing, I feel like DraftKings is fucking, they're like listening, right? They're like Big Brother listening to the Degenerate 75. They have started tweaking their math. This is a new one they've started doing. They've only started doing this recently, and this is them trying to be savvy. But I can do 4th grade math. I don't want to brag, but I can do 4th grade math. So here's what they're doing. They've started offering these 50-person contests. Well, there's actually 57, right? And let's just say it's a 10-person contest. So there's 57 people in there, $10 contest. So what happens, it's a $500 contest, right? So $10 times the 50 is $500. That's how much the guaranteed. But there's 57 people in there. So that means there's 7 over, right? So there's 7 people paying the rake. That is 7 over 50. That is a 14% rake. Yes, that's better than the 15% rake they used to do. But because they've created a new format where, they used to basically either only do 2. It was either the 10% or it was the 15%. Now what they've done is they've lowered them down to a 14% by making those new 50-person contests with 57 people in there, right? So only 25 get paid. So that's still a 14% rake. So you still want to be very diligent about which contest you're picking, because why pay a 14% rake when you can go pay the 10 or 11% rake on the other contests? Okay, and if you don't know, still the best ones to be in are the 11-person and the 22-person contest, right? Because an 11-person and a 22-person contest, let's say there's 100 people, $100 in guaranteed prize pool. Well, there's 110 total. So you just take the 10 into the 100. That's a 10% rake they're charging you. Last time I checked, I would rather pay a 10% rake than a 14% rake, right? Now, if you play low limits, right? If you play $5 or lower, it's always going to be 15% rake. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about that, right? But if you're going to play the $10 and above, $10 double ups and above, there's always going to be 10% rake contest available. And why pay extra rake if you don't have to, brother? All right, in a GPP, would it be a plus EV play to go 3 running backs and play some of the high upside guys and fade the reg cash guys? Here's the answer to that. Don't get too cute fading everybody, right? To me, and a good GPP lineup today in a 2-game slate, you're going to have to eat some chalk. Okay, the key is which chalk to eat, right? If you just go in and fade all these guys in red, I'll go ahead and tell you your GPP fate right now. You're going to fucking lose. Okay, now, if you go in and you say, I think San Jose State gets ahead today, so that is basically going to game script out Samson Evans, where he's not going to be able to pay off that $71 or $7,100 price tag, love it. If you think that Liberty is going to be a shit show today, or maybe they're going to actually find some success running the ball, well, then you go fade Demario Douglas, right? These are the kind of, use a script to fade some guys in the red, but don't go fade them all. Don't go fade them all. And yes, going with 3 running backs, I think will be the way to be different today, especially if one of those running backs is Kyrie Robinson and you're running that to get away from the passing attack of San Jose, right? It was a lot like A.J. Dillon last night. He could be your A.J. Dillon today, right? If he has a big game, that almost directly fucks Aaron Rodgers in the passing game, right? But in this case, it would be Cordero and their passing game, right? Spot on regarding motivation. San Jose State has been in disarray ever since the tragic teammate death. Colder weather today. EMU pasty is solid, and San Jose run is weak. So there you go. Jason's saying don't go all in on San Jose. They have been struggling, and that is true. I do remember playing San Jose State a while back, and they were not very good. This is why I don't want to have 4 guys from that team, brother. I think I'm gonna have to think Kyrie's gonna get the boot, because even if they're playing bad, right? Like even if they do look like shit today, I think San Jose State, rather they get ahead or they're playing from behind, the pass game gets there. So I think Kyrie's probably gonna get cut. I might have to go with New or Douglas. Gonna have to do a little research maybe after my haircut. Very excited about the haircut. Very excited. You know you're old when you get excited about a haircut. All right. Love the advice on the no more than 6 in each game. Definitely spread it too thin. Once again, just want to be clear, Delbert, and to everybody listening, which we were up to 20. We're up to 20 sweaty bastards. In GPPs, that rule doesn't apply. And a GPP, I think a 6-2 might actually be a great way to get lineups that are different than everybody. Because in a 2-game slate, what you don't want to do is be splitting with 14 people if you manage to win a GPP, right? There is a chance you're going to have to chop with 1 or 2 guys, but that's okay. So a great way to do that is really load up on 1 game and hope it shoots out, right? And I think most people are going to want to stack this early game. That's why I called it the target game. But I think the sneakier game to stack that nobody will really be stacking will be that later game. I say later. I don't even fucking know what time the games are. If you want me to be absolutely honest with you. All right. There it is. Delbs. Yeah. So be cognizant of that whenever you're making your cash lineup. I don't think you want a 6-2. Okay, that's just another thing to consider. Let other people make the mistake. And if they go 6-2 and the game that they have 6 guys in goes off, well, then they'll probably cash. But what we're trying to do is eliminate mistakes. Because if that game becomes the lower end game and they have 6 guys in it, they're auto toast. And even if it does go off, they still might not have the right pieces in it. All cash is trying to minimize mistakes, especially at college football. And that's why it's been so profitable, is we just try to minimize our mistakes. And if you haven't noticed, people make some really bad lineups. People have seen my hair, maybe after a haircut. Who shows their hair before they get a haircut? What the hell is wrong with you, Alps, man? Go fucking climb a mountain. Go do the what is that? Price is Right. Yo, lady, and the little thing goes up and then it falls off the edge if you guess too many dollars over. If you didn't watch Price is Right as a child, what is wrong with you? Okay, I think that's it. Now that we're up to 20 people, I've answered all the questions. I think Locke is at, I don't know. Let's just go look real quick. I got a second. I got to say, I'm just so excited to go get this haircut. Okay, that's it. All right, so it looks like it locks at 2:30. Is that Slapdick time zone or is that Lord's time zone? It locks at 3:30. So yeah, 3:30 Slapdick, 2:30 Lord's time zone. What time are the 2 games? Let's go draft a team and see what time the games are. All right. Hey, cool. They're not on at the same time. So, I guess if things go very poorly in the first game, especially if you're in an 11-person contest, go look at who the other people have, and you might need to zig when everybody's eggs in the second game, because late swap is a thing even at cash, right? 2-game slates, it's a little bit different, but I think it's viable. So there you go. The editor should be posting. He might have already posted it. The stone, it will be there. When's our next slate? I don't even know. How the hell is Asaqual not here? Is that motherfucker work or something? Can't he just watch on his phone from work like most of you slimy bastards are probably doing right now? Okay. I think that's it, guys. Good luck today. Shoot me a DM if you have any questions. I'll try to be around for you. I missed this. What did you miss, Nick? What did you miss? You missed it because you were in Las Vegas watching maybe one of the 3 craziest endings to an NFL game I've ever seen. My lady has been to 1 college football game in her life. 1 college football game. It was right when we got together, and we went to OU Boise State Fiesta Bowl, widely considered the greatest college football game ever played. That is her complete experience of being at a game. So she thinks that that's how college football is. Like, every game is the greatest game ever. That's the only game she's ever seen in person. And now, Nick, I don't know how many NFL games you've seen, Nick. Probably many, seeing you live in Nolans. But if that's the only NFL game you've ever seen in person, never go to another one. So you can say the only NFL game you've ever been to is literally one of the greatest endings of all time. I was literally, the lady came and checked on me yesterday or Sunday when that happened, because I was, oh my God. I could not believe it was happening. It was so funny. It was just it was so unnecessary. It was tied, bro. Just go to overtime, Jacoby Myers. Jacoby fucking moron. All right. Getting fired up. I got to go get this haircut. I'm way too excited. Hey, Nick, I'm about to look like a 28-year-old when I chop off this beard today. Sorry, I got in late. Did you say not to go heavy on one game but split the lineup between both games? For cash, Ben. So, Ben, to answer your question, oh, yeah, for cash, I think a good rule to follow is don't have more than 5 guys from one game in your cash lineup. Make sense? Because if you start going 6-2 and that game doesn't get there, you're dead. You're dead. And to me, that's just making a mistake, right? And it might work out. You might be like, well, I had a feeling. Well, if you have a feeling, if you're one of those guys that has a feeling, go play GPPs, okay? Cash isn't about having a feeling. It's about not fucking up. And putting 6 guys from one game and only 2 from the other in there, I feel like is just exposing yourself to more variance than you need. And a cash lineup is about trying to get rid of as much variance as we can, okay? That's what she gets for in Patriot gear. Hey, no problem, Ben. All right, motherfathers, good luck today. I hope we keep the hot streak going. It looked like Saturday was very good for people, so hopefully we can keep it going with a little 2-day sweaty slate. Thanks for being here. Actually, we had 27 people swing by. Now I'm going to have to change it to 27 sweaty bastards. I don't know. I don't think I can count down from that one, though. Full disclosure. Good luck, guys. I'll see you around. Pretty pumped about this haircut.